Welcome to this episode of Genius Gems. I am super excited to have our first guest in this series, my good friend, Michael Gregory. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting. When you told me I was the first one, it's like a blue ocean. I can talk about anything I want. It's a good thing and a bad thing. What should I talk about?
It is so much, but you were one of the first people I thought of when I wanted to do this topic. I know you are using AI in so many amazing ways, and I am just always in awe of your brilliant mind. So I'm going to turn it over to you, let you take over the stage and share your genius gems on AI.
So I've spent so much time working with AI from the very beginning. This is, I think, 2.0, when ChatGPT 2.0 came out. I actually hired a VA, and their job was just to do all the research that I didn't have time to do. It was really fun. We met for an hour a week. We would get 30 minutes on ideas, 30 minutes on just the research that she did, and we just learn it together. And since then, it's really evolved. I've actually spent almost $200,000 in the software that I'm working on as like a playground for the last couple of years that all my coaching clients use it for. But I think the biggest takeaway that if I were to share with an audience would be to know that it's way smarter than you think it is, and that it's okay to ask questions to AI about what should you be asking AI. Because if you don't know what questions to ask, it's really hard to find a starting point. But I'll give a couple of examples since you're already sharing my screen here. It's like a couple of things. I got N8N. I had N8N downloaded on our server, and I had never used it. This is a few months ago. So literally didn't know anything about N8N at all. But I had two really cool ideas that I wanted to try it out on. And so what I did is I said, hey, I'm downloading N8N right now, and I want to build an application that will grab all of my YouTube videos, and then give me create transcriptions for them, put them into a Google Drive folder so that I can use that for more content. So I went to N8N, and I just basically said, hey, tell me about what N8N is. I want to dive a little bit deeper in N8N. Can you give me a brief overview of what it is? And it just started teaching me information. And so I asked very basic questions, and kind of this as like a college learning tutorial. Something would come in like word like a node. I'm like, well, tell me about nodes. What are nodes? How do they work together? And so understanding what questions that you want to ask, and it's okay to not know something. It's saying, hey, I really want to know more about fill in the blank. Tell me something really basic about it so I can get a good starting point. And there's so many applications that you can do. If you're an entrepreneur like me, you just have crazy ideas. I've been really into indoor or outdoor gardens lately, like to find like gardens. So I didn't know anything about it at all. And I kind of used it to kind of do some research and tell me if I'm going to buy an outdoor garden to grow vegetables, how should I be researching how to look for in this? Like, so just basic, what questions should you ask? And then it's okay to have it give you more questions too. So the last thing would be, if you're just confused about something, say, ask me 10 questions. So try to get more information out of me, or teach me 10 things that I should know about this topic. And the last thing you can do, a couple things, is you can do a canvas mode in ChatGPT, where it can actually type and put things into a canvas. And the last thing you can do, show you through Gemini, which is a really cool tool. I also use that one. I don't know if I can find it because I got 1,000 tabs open. The magic of editing. And Gemini. Here we go. Is you can do a screencast on this. And so if I were to go back to my dashboard, at what I wanted to do here, so this Python Client Explorer should be more prepared for this. I'm not going to find it. Can we edit this?
Yes.
Okay. Is it? I just moved it. I just checked this out. So if you can't find something, maybe I got rid of it. This is a really cool thing too. I doubt people are going to show. Here we go. Nobody's going to like that. Is it? Monitor and use. Well, that didn't work out as well as I wanted to. I'm not going to be able to find it. They have the new version. Shoot. Michael.
To put on my glasses and learn from all of
No, you're good. I'm sorry if that I would be able to find this really easy, because I haven't used it lately, but every time I built something new, I was using it. It worked really, really well. Your apps, if you use sizes, app, whatever. Skip that. We can clone it here. Pause. And so the last thing is, when you're using a different one like AI Studio, there's a whole bunch of really cool features in here. You can do a screencast. They're always coming out with the new versions. And so one thing I would really caution people on is, if you're doing a lot of work, is a paid version might be really great for you. But for the things that we need on a daily basis as home service business owners or small business owners, is we don't need the most complex, comprehensive, advanced AI model, because we're really just like crawling the web and kind of just getting basic information to educate and ourselves. And so I would kind of find what works really well for you. So Gemini 2.5 Pro works really well. I do have the $20 paid version of ChatGPT. I had the $200 version. It didn't do anything different for me. I noticed no difference at all whatsoever. And so as far as the quality of the output. And so I would say just when you're practicing it, just ask questions and have it ask you questions, and then use it just as like a college professor that's educating you on things that you can learn about AI. So that's the very basic rundown of what I would say. Stick to using it as a resource for information, and don't be afraid to ask it questions that you don't know, because I was afraid of asking questions. I didn't know where to start. And so asking it where to start is a great place to begin.
I love that. So do you think describing situations where I like to use it to, and I'm like, help me be a better prompter. Do you think people have to know how to prompt, or how important is that when you're like working on a project, not as much just in the back and forth education? How important is prompting?
Prompting is very important. And what I can share with you is something else, really good pro tip is when you're done with a series of like your prompt here, like if I'm going to do something here, is summarize all this information we've talked about, take all this information and summarize it for me in a prompt so that I can start where I left off next time. So you can use a large prompt sequence here. But if I say, hey, we've talked about a lot here, me a starting prompt, and then it will just give you a prompt to starting back up. So you can even have it give you prompts, and I'll have ChatGPT prompt Gemini for me, or vice versa, and just go back and forth with the two. So it can actually just have it make you a prompt, because who's the best at making prompts? AI. Literally runs on prompts.
See, sometimes we think we have to go to a different source or some other educational source. I think people think to properly give ChatGPT a prompt instead of telling it to educate you.
Like, me a prompt, or yeah, can I make this prompt better? Make me if you want to be a better prompt engineer, is just have it teach you on how to do that. That's what I was saying. The whole point I think of this would be is you don't know what to ask. It's really difficult to know where to start. So say I don't know what to ask. I'm trying to learn this thing and I don't even really know where to begin. Can you tell me where I should begin? And then just ask me questions that I should know. What should I know about this? And just start to dive really deep into any one of those things that you want to about or explore.
I love all this. Tell me if you can just think, and there's no pressure on this question, but something that you've been like that you've learned that ChatGPT taught you, Gemini or the AI taught you, or that you learned faster, that it decreased time, like the most fascinating that blew your mind.
So I'd say this is like coding. So programming and coding is I can read JavaScript, I can read JSON. I mean, like basics to understand what it is I used Gemini and GPT and N8N like one. I would ask a question, how do I build something? And then it would give me the answer. And it would give me all of the code and everything, like how to use the JSON to put the thing here and all this stuff. Like it would actually give me the JSON code that I need to write here. So I started with a vision, and I literally would just ask a question, get a series of code, tell me what to do step by step. I would just copy and paste it over to here. So I'm literally built all of this, not knowing anything about N8N besides this a glorified Zapier. I built this really cool thing that downloads captions, puts them in a Google Drive folder, takes that file, and then creates more content from that. So now I can grab all of my best performing YouTube, Facebook content that gets the most engagement and make more content from that without even having to create anything myself. And I did all of that through using Gemini and ChatGPT to say, hey, I want to do this thing. Give me a step-by-step instruction on how to build this workflow. So I'm not trying to sit here and brag that I know more about N8N workflows than anybody, because this was literally the first one I ever did. But it helped me do the entire thing, but just by beginning with the end in mind. What am I trying to accomplish, and what's the best way to accomplish it?
That line in the end sums it up, I think. Like, tell what you want the result to be. What I'm trying to do, and how can I accomplish it? Like, this is my desired result. You had a more specific desired result of exactly how you knew you wanted to repurpose your content, and like a more defined process, because you are such a strong like integrator as well. But as a visionary entrepreneur, like, you have just the vision in mind and ask ChatGPT to help you with it. You don't have to know how to do something. You can have it help you create the process that you're trying to create.
Yeah, and you are a visionary, and then have somebody that can finish the things for you, because visionaries are notorious for getting half done with 10 things. And so finding somebody that can use discernment, play that contrarian to tell you which ideas are good and bad, so you can put your magic on those ones that are the most important or the most likely to succeed, and then have the integrator finish it, take it to the finish line for you.
Good advice. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for being on here for our first Genius Gems. And that was great advice of the broad ways to use it. Far too many people make it way too complicated. So
yeah, keep simple. And then you can make it really complicated, but people probably just need the basics right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.